What's up everyone? MistrMopar back with another maintenance video on the Toyota Tacoma. This is a 2002 with a 2.7 liter engine, the 3RZ FE. And in this video I'm going to show you how to change the spark plugs. Pretty straightforward, easy job. I chose the NGK Iridium. I like to use the good stuff. The part number for these that will come gapped specifically for this engine is right here. So all you need to do is install them. Really straightforward job. The only thing you really need is a 10mm and a 12mm. Granted, that is if all of the clamps on the intake tube are the originals. They should be a 10mm. You're going to have two on the end here, one here, and then you've got a 10mm bolt on top of the little box here that kind of is just really a bracket for the hoses here. And then on the bottom of this box, approximately a quarter of the way inside on both, they're on the bottom of this metal bracket here. There's a 12mm nut that you'll have to take off, and that will allow you to move this box here so that you can remove the intake tube and get to the third plug underneath it in the back. So I'm going to take all that off and then we will check back. So I've got that off. You can see this box just comes up out of the way. The two studs right there that have the 12mm nut on the bottom, you can see in the bracket where they go. So now it's just a matter of getting the coils off the plugs. Those are 10mm. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to remove those and then we'll pull the plugs out. Another thing I'm going to add that I just realized, you do have to unplug the connection from the coil on the back three. It's a lot easier to do that with the bolt still in it. So mine didn't want to come out of there, so what I had to do, because you don't want to break them of course, is I used just a little extension and I pushed down on the tab like this, and then I used just a little pry bar to get in behind it as I was pushing down and pop it off that way. Just made sure I didn't break anything. So now that I've got those unplugged, I'm going to remove the coils and get the plugs out. So here's the old plugs, the Denzos. I'm going to bet that they're probably the original, so I'm not sure how well this is going to come out in the video, but there is no tip on that plug at all on any of them. I'll get the new one out and show you the difference. Toyotas, I'll tell you, they're built to run. So you see the little tip on your new plug, that's what it's supposed to look like. These are what mine looked like, all four of them. So it's 216,000 miles on this thing. It still runs perfectly, but she definitely was due for some new plugs. So, and this is also the 5/8 plug socket. All right, so I've got my old plugs out, I've got my new plugs back in, I've got all four of my coils back on, I got my bolt back in, all my electrical plugs plugged back in. Now it's just a matter of putting the intake tube and everything back on, and once I get all that done, we will recap. When you're putting your intake tube back together, it's easier before you put this down in the bracket on the bottom of the box here with the two 12mm. Fit it inside this and then work it down inside. It's a lot easier, it gives you more play on that. All buttoned up. The whole process took probably 20-25 minutes. Would have been quicker, but a couple things were just a pain in the butt. So just to recap, the only tools that you really need are a 10mm and a 12mm. First thing you're going to do, remove your two 10mm bolts on your air intake hose here. You've got another one right here. You've got a 10mm bolt in the top and a little, I'm not even sure what it's called, vacuum box, I guess. Once you get the two 12mm bolts out of the bottom of the bracket underneath the vacuum box, I assume that's for the vacuum, you can take that up off the bracket, pull your intake tube out of the way. You've got your four coils right in the top, those are 10mm. Leave the three 10mm bolts in the back ones while you unplug the wiring harness from it, because you can't get the coil out with it still plugged in. There's just not enough room on the wire. The front one you can leave plugged in. Once the coils are out, 5/8 spark plug socket, pull those out, put your new ones in, put everything back together. Another thing I did notice when I was under here, when you're doing this, just observe all your lines and hoses, make sure everything looks good. But I noticed that I had a little bit of wear on the throttle cable coming off from the throttle body over here. It didn't actually wear through into the cable itself, but it was starting to. I'm not sure what it was rubbing on, so I put a couple zip ties on it just to hold it in place, just to prevent it from rubbing and wearing through, causing me headaches down the road. So that's how you change your spark plugs in a Toyota Tacoma 2002. This is a 2.7 liter. Should be the exact same process for 1995 through the 2004 with the 2.7. I would guess the 2.4 is probably the exact same process. And if you want to use the NGK Iridium plugs like I did that come gapped for this truck, that's your part number there. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you got any questions. Hopefully this will help some of you guys out. We'll see you next time.